Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 13th. Here's what's happening. Around 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. in Jerusalem, Hamas began to hand over the remaining Israeli hostages to the Red Cross, who were then repatriated to Israel. Today's release is part of a deal brokered by President Donald Trump that includes the release of 2,000 Palestinian prisoners in Israel. President Donald Trump landed in Israel early this morning, where he gave a speech to the parliament and then traveled to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt to co-host a peace summit on Gaza. Stay with Ave Maria Radio throughout the day for continuing updates on this story. A man has been arrested after desecrating the altar of confession of St. Peter's Basilica on Friday. The Italian newspaper Corriere della Sera reports the man climbed up the altar and began urinating. The Holy See press office said in a statement that Pope Leo XIV was shocked to learn of the incident. It marks the second time this year that the altar has been attacked. In February, a man climbed on top and began to throw the candelabras to the ground. In June 2023, a Polish man undressed and climbed the altar to make a political statement about Ukraine. The Vatican performed a penitential rite after that desecration. Major markets across Asia have sunk today following a fear of a trade war between China and the United States. President Trump said Friday he'll impose new tariffs on China starting November 1st, blaming China's aggressive position for trade on his decision. Hong Kong's benchmark Hang Seng Index, China's Shanghai Composite Index, and South Korea's benchmark index all dropped on Monday. U.S. stocks on Friday were also hard hit, with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ recording their worst day since April, while the Dow suffered its steepest drop since May. Futures are up slightly at this hour. Tennessee officials now believe 16 people were killed by the massive explosion at a military munitions plant. More people were initially reported missing following Friday's blast at the plant about 50 miles west of Nashville. But authorities were able to confirm that some of the suspected victims were at the facility at the time. In a news briefing Saturday night, Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis said the cause of the blast is still under investigation, but that foul play cannot be ruled out. And it turns out being a social butterfly could help you live longer. Rob Martier explains.
A new study by researchers at Cornell University found that social relationships can slow cellular aging. Using data from over 2,000 U.S. adults, researchers measured their cumulative social advantage, which is tied to family relationships, emotional support, religious involvement, and community engagement. The scores were then matched to biological markers. People with higher social relationship scores had slower biological aging. I'm Rob Martier.
And that's the news this morning. I'm Matthew Handley.